What is up, YouTube? This is our UFC 267 initial predictions of the fights and how it's going to go.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. So let's start at the bottom, if that's okay with you.
Yeah, let's get it.
All right. Yeah. So thoughts on Magomed and the Vulcan fight?
I think Magomed sweeps. I think it's, he's been so dominant. Um, no discredit to Vulcan, but, Magomed, if he's going to keep going up, he looks amazing in everything he does. So, no, I think he comes out easy. I think I'm going to go second round TKO.
Yeah. Prediction. I agree with you. I think Magomed is going to definitely win. I think it's going to be a dominant performance too. To be honest with you.
Yeah, I think it's going to be dominant.
I still think it's going to go into the third round. I'm going to say third round TKO.
All right.
I'm hitting that one.
All right. Yeah, I think I don't think he gets knocked out, but I think referee stoppage TKO.
Yeah.
Next we got
Liang and Shemaev.
Yep, and that's another one where I think it's going to be a dominant performance.
Yeah, I'm going to say same thing, Shemaev.
Yep.
I think it's going to win first round.
First round even, huh?
Yeah, I think I'll go first round.
Oof. He says he wants to eat him. He says he wants to.
Him.
Yeah, he says he wants to destroy him. So if he comes out strong with that energy, then yeah, I could definitely see a first round victory. I'm gonna stick with what I was going. I'm gonna go second round. I think I think he's got enough juice in him to last one round, but we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. I think it's definitely gonna win. He looks like he's deadly, man.
Yeah, I think this is a pretty one-sided card, almost all the way up.
Shemaev looks like he'll crawl up in you and lay some eggs. You know what I'm saying? Like,
sure.
He's fucking dangerous. All right, so Volkov and the Marksman fight.
Yeah, so our only heavyweight fight of the night. I'm gonna go Alexander with this. I'm not quite sure. I don't have a lot of fights that I've seen Marcin fight in, so I'll have to go back and recap some of his fights. But from what I've seen from Volkov, I think he wins this fight. But you never know; those heavyweights always surprise you.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna go Volkov too. He's got. I'm pretty sure he's got a couple. I think he's got like maybe 2 inches on him and a couple inches in reach as well. Plus, he's a few years younger. He's steadily climbing.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna go to decision though. I don't think either of them getting knocked out.
Yeah, it's hard for those heavyweights. Like besides the champs, you don't see many of the heavyweights go to decision. They get tired, they get gassed, and then something happens, and unless they're just wrestling on the ground for the rest of the fight.
Yeah.
And then to me, I think this is one of the more exciting fights of the night. One of my favorite up and coming fighters, which I don't know if you saw Khabib today. He says he's already top 10 pound for pound. He thinks he's already top 10 pound for pound fighter. Not Khabib, Islam. And then we have Islam fighting Dan Hooker. And as much as I love Dan Hooker, just based off from his last performance, I think Islam destroys him.
I think same thing. I want Dan Hooker to win, actually, though.
Same.
Dan Hooker, to me, is the only chance. Because the problem is he cannot get close. Because he's going to, right when they get into a clinch, he's going to lose. He's going to be on his back.
But he's a great striker as well.
Oh, I know. But Dan Hooker can stand up, though.
Yeah, he can.
If he gets on the ground, he's not winning that battle. The only chance I think he's gotten, especially because I think he's got like a 5-inch reach advantage, is just to stay away from him, pick him apart, and try to play it smart. I mean, Dan Hooker can't go in reckless. You know what I mean? He can't take the abuse. If he goes in and plays it smart and can just, like I said, stay away from him and pick him apart, I think that he could win. The only other way I could see him winning is if it's just a one-punch knockout. He just hits him, right in that sweet spot. Other than that, I think Islam is going to.
I'll be real with you. I think Islam probably tries to stand with him to begin with. I truly do.
Oh, he will. I mean, Islam's better. Islam is like a Khabib if Khabib could strike.
Sure.
I mean,
Khabib wasn't no slouch. He just wasn't, yeah. Islam's definitely a better striker. I think at the same time, I think these guys always got a chip on their shoulder and they want to show you they can do more. It's why you saw Khabib stand up with Conor for as long as they did during their fight, And I think people are saying exactly what me and you were both saying. Like we could come in and say Dan Hooker on paper is the better striker, And that might be a chip on his shoulder where he actually comes in and tries striking with him. But at that same time, if he ever does get outclassed, he's a world-class wrestler and he will get you to the ground and he will dominate you. And, I think
And
it's
Dan
the
Hooker's
second
got
coming of
good.
Khabib. So,
Oh yeah, Dan Hooker's got good wrestling. I just can't see him beating
no.
Islam.
I know, like
But
he trains with two champions, you know what I
yeah,
mean? So he knows what it takes to be a champion. He just,
I mean,
Islam, I think, is on
Dan
the way.
Hooker. Yeah, Dan Hooker. I mean, like I said, he does have a chance. People are writing him off. He's got a chance. There's always that puncher's chance. Like I said, not to mention if you
Yeah, I'm never
can,
writing him off.
yeah, if you can, just stay away from him and him. Like I said, just pick him apart, kick his legs out from under him. You know, throw like be heavy on the jab. Um, you know, I just outside of that, I don't see anything happening
Yeah.
on his side.
So we go to our bantamweight uh, title fight. We're gonna call it a title fight. It's the interim title fight. No more ducking anything from Aljamain. He has to fight the winner of this. And we talked about it a little bit on the last fight. I think, if you are Aljamain, you're hoping for Sandhagen to win, and I think that's a mistake. Watching Dillashaw Sandhagen fight over again, because I watched it again yesterday. Man, I don't know. I think Sandhagen can win this fight.
All right, so I'm gonna throw out a couple of controversial opinions about
Let's
Sandhagen.
hear it.
Okay. Here's my thoughts. Sandhagen would beat Aljamain in a rematch. I'm
Yes.
very sure. All right. He got stupid and got choked out. He slipped up. Happens. Aljamain won. I knew he could beat him again. I don't see Hagen having the tools to beat Jan. And the only reason I say that is I do agree. Like, for example, look at that Dillashaw fight. For Dillashaw to do as good as he did after tearing his knee apart, right? Imagine if Dillashaw was fresh that whole fight, how much better he would have looked and
I
done.
I agree, but
And
that
I
you got to get I in that situation, I think you almost got to give way more credit to Dillashaw as a fighter than you.
yeah,
I don't think
I'm just
Jan
saying
does that as
I
a
don't think
fighter.
I don't think Dillashaw would have knocked him out or anything. I think that it would have been a much more
Jan's a better striker.
weighted
Jan's
match. Yeah, that's what my point
hands
is.
hit way
Jan,
heavier.
yeah, and Jan is if he tries to kickbox with Jan, it's not going to work out in his favor. I
He
think
has the reach to do it. He has
I
the
know he
reach
has
to
the
keep
reach,
him at a
but I think
distance, piece
yeah,
him
but I think
apart.
Jan has the skill, and Jan's so fucking fast too.
100%.
And I think he can get through,
This is
and
gonna. I think
he's
this
got
is.
heavy power.
I I I don't disagree with anything you said. I do think this is more of a test for Jan than it is for
Yeah,
Corey. I do. I think Corey's fought people like Jan.
more
Maybe not
rise
at
on
his
Jan.
class. Sure, Jan's champion material, right? He should be champion. He's champion material. But you could argue that he won the fight against Dillashaw. I don't think he did. I thought in the moment he did, but rewatching the fight, I definitely see why he lost the fight. Um with that though, you learn from those mistakes and it looks like he's still hungry, you know? So from a fighter mentality of you learning from that, having that massive war with Dillashaw, I think this has the potential to be a better fight than Sandhagen versus Dillashaw.
Oh, I agree. But I think the way that Sandhagen wins is if he tries to take Jan down and
I
use
agree.
his.
I was going to say, I
Sandhagen
think,
got crazy submissions.
yeah,
The problem is, I don't think he's going to do that.
I
I
think he
think he's
can.
one of those people. I think he can. I'm not saying that. I'm saying I don't think he's going to.
Once again, I think
And
you
I think
learn
he's
from
one
your
of those.
mistakes where if he would have tried to get Dillashaw to the ground more, he had him in some submissions. He can get him in some
Yeah,
submissions. Like that was where he
yeah,
could have won the
obviously, yeah.
fight. Yeah, he fucking
He tore his fucking leg off. Yeah.
yeah, But so yeah, I don't disagree with anything you said, but I
I
think he
just
has
don't
all the
think
tools
he's.
to win.
I think he has. I don't think he's going to do it though. And the reason I say that is because even watching him when he got that crazy cool flying knee and
Yeah,
people
Frankie.
loved it,
Yeah,
he throws it constantly now. And it's like I think
he
now he's
he's
more
he
in
has
love with
the
striking.
he has the Sean O'Malley
Yeah.
highlight knockout
No,
mentality
yeah,
as
but
well.
that's my point though. I think he's falling more in love with the striking aspect of it and the love he gets from a cool knockout. That I don't think
You
he's just
love
going
that
to go out
extra
there and start.
50K.
Yeah, but I don't think he's going to go out there and just start wrestling.
Yeah.
Even though I think that is his ticket to win. But who knows?
I know we didn't. The main title fight tonight, Jan's going into this with a minus 300 favorite, which is kind of crazy. Um, I don't think he loses. I know people are saying Glover has what it takes to be it, and don't get me wrong, Glover's cool. Glover's a great fighter. I just don't think he has what it takes to beat the other Jan.
No, nah. Jan, I think he is superior. I do think that he has a lot more to lose, obviously, because realistically, Jan is 38 now. So
They're
if he
both.
loses, what's he gonna do? Chase that title again? It's kind of like the steep. It's like how much can you chase that title and keep losing? Like, his career will change drastically. I don't ever see him being the champion again if he loses. Glover has nothing to lose, but I don't think Glover has the skill to.
He doesn't have the
I
skill to
think Jan
maintain.
is a much superior striker, and I think that even ground game, I think Jan would beat him.
No, I do too.
Not to mention Glover's. He's 42. He's older.
Mm-hmm.
Jan has the reach advantage, which isn't a huge
listen. The only thing I kind of disagree with is I think he could have another chance, just because who else in that weight division right now has the opportunity? There's no new up and comer that's out there demolishing people besides Yuri. Like, other than that, I don't think there's anyone outside of Yuri that he has to even worry about to try and get back to the light heavyweight championship. So because that's who he has next. Whoever wins this fight, that's who's next. Yuri's coming after it, and I give him the title. I think he wins, I don't think
he loses to either fighter.
No, I don't either. But I don't think Jan is out of the question after a loss like that, or to Glover. I think one fight and he's back in the conversation.
I'm just going off of how the UFC usually works. It's not like Jan is the most commanding presence.
He's not,
right?
but they also
he's 38, and it's like they try to build kind of like a franchise quarterback. They try to build it for that weight class. So they like having one of those commanding presence that people remember, that they can keep for a few years, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's always cool to have like that champion that keeps winning stuff. And Jan is becoming that, but I don't think if he loses, I think being as old as he is, it's going to be a couple years probably before he even gets that fight, most likely, because he'll probably have to fight a couple of tune-up fights, right? So when he does that, you're talking about 6 months at a time. So you're stretching out 6 months, plus another after this fight, plus another 6 months to fight, and maybe one more time. So now you're looking at he's 40 years old.
I think that just depends on how it goes. If he beats Glover and goes on and loses to Yuri,
I think losing. I think
Yuri, he can get an immediate rematch. I think he gets an immediate rematch. Because who else in that weight class would get? Who's the next fighter? You could be like, well, Jan's better than him. And if whatever, you could be like, all right, this is Jan, this is your next fight, and then you can pull up the rankings. I don't think there's a fighter right now that's in that weight division that's just a dominant presence, like you're saying, besides him. Like, I don't think he has to beat too many people to be back up there. I think he can get an immediate rematch because he's defended his title against some good names now. He's defended his title against Adesanya. If he beats Glover and then loses to, that's not a
I'd see him getting a more of an immediate rematch to Glover as opposed to Yuri. I think Yuri, like I said, they're going to want to keep him in there, and they're going to start feeding him.
It depends on how this fight goes, for sure.
10 contenders, because Yuri's hadn't fought a bunch of them. So he's a more interesting person, because like Jan is going through them, and it gets to everybody. It's kind of like I give it to John Jones, right? John Jones, perfect example. He was so good and won for so long that personally, like me, I wouldn't even want to pay for a pay-per-view.
Yes, pay-per-views did bad.
Catch the highlights because he's going to win. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So everybody wants those new champions, so that way it's just fresh. And I think that's kind of what it's going to be with if Jan loses his title to anybody except Glover. Probably, like I said, probably get it back. But I think Yuri, again, I think they're just going to want to stick with him and give him all the new talent.
Yeah, they would.
Yuri's ranked number 2.
Oh, he's going to be next. He'll get the title fight next.
Oh, sure. I mean, I think there's still more to come from Reyes. I think he can come back.
Obviously, true. I mean, that was a dirty fight against them. That elbow was dirty.
I think if he can fight a few more fights, they would probably do a rematch.
If he could win,
Anthony Smith, and he's been winning.
If he can keep winning, I like Anthony Smith. It happens, when you have those up and coming fights, you start beating people. I still love that knee to Rashad Evans when he knocked Rashad Evans out. It's just such an example of listening to your
Yeah.
corner.
Paulo Costa is ranked number 8 in light heavyweight.
That's
They
amazing.
ranked him in light heavyweight.
Well, listen, if he fight, he doesn't have the power in light heavyweight, dude. He doesn't have the power to.
In saying that, here's what
Maybe
I
his
would be
kicks.
interested to see. His kicks are fucking deadly. I think that he does have power. I don't think he has the power to knock out a Yuri.
No.
But I do think that
Dominic even destroys him, I think.
I think a Paulo Costa and an Anthony Smith fight would be
I
really
think Anthony
fucking
Smith beats him.
I do too, but I still think it'd be entertaining.
Yeah.
Because Paulo Costa, he is fun to watch.
No, he's not. That was an awesome fight to watch.
Fight.
Yeah, as much as I hate on both of those fighters,
and it was entertaining because of him. I mean, those kicks were deadly. But it would be interesting to see if he doesn't have to cut weight to 180, because he weighed in, I think, 222. He probably weighs 230 something.
But think about it this: you got to go the John Jones way of what he said he was trying to do, of slowly put on the weight, slowly do all that, where you gain the power as well, right? So when you cut, you can keep all your power without.
But that's my point, though. He's already there.
I don't think he
weighs
is
that much.
I don't think he is.
He probably walks around at 230.
Well, they said he weighed in at the fight at 220.
And he had cut weight to get there.
Yeah, he weighed in at 205, but afterwards, on fight day he was like 220 something.
No. But I'm saying to get to 220 though, he had been trying to cut weight, so he had lost weight to get to 220.
He just couldn't get to 185.
Yeah, he couldn't get to 185. But that's my point. He's already at a 205 weight.
We'll see.
So I think he has that. It'd be cool to watch, but that would be fun. I didn't know he was ranked.
I think that's funny. I think that's super funny. He probably saw that ranking and was like, "I'm not fighting that light heavyweight."
Well, and then you do have Magomed too, depending on, of course, his fight.
He's got to keep winning.
I mean, yeah, that's still. I mean, he's 15-1, 6-1 in the UFC.
Mm-hmm.
He's ranked number 10.
Now he'll have a. He wins this fight, he keeps going uphill. I can see him getting an Anthony Smith after this. Getting a Dominic Reyes after this. I could see him getting one of those guys after this fight.
Actually, I think him via Dominic Reyes would be the perfect fight.
Yeah, I do too.
See if he, because Dominic, I mean, he's
a great striker. He's a great striker.
Arguably, he's the only person that's ever beat John Jones, right? I know John Jones won, but that was you could give that Dominic Reyes. The only person that's ever done that. Maybe Gustafson. I mean, that's it. But I mean, still, you see what happened when John Jones had prep time.
Yeah,
right?
That was an unprepped John Jones.
Yeah. So because of that, Dominic Reyes is still deadly. As to get into the real rankings, I know he's ranked number 10, but getting to that top 5, beating a Dominic Reyes would put you.
Yeah, I'd give him Anthony Smith
4.
or Dominic Reyes. I'd give him one of those two guys.
I think that that'd be a cool ass.
Anthony Smith, he's been getting some tough guys. He's just been the stuff that's been going against him. Obviously, the who was that fucking fight that we watched him go against? I think it was the Australian guy, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Jimmy Crute, I think that's his name. Destroyed his knee with those leg kicks though, and like where the dude couldn't even stand up. The doctor called it in that first round.
Oh yeah, no. I think that Paulo Costa could do that too.
We'll see. I'd like to see it. I would like to see it.
I just after that fight, I was like, man, if he could just focus on kicking everybody,
right?
So man, I've never heard it.
Give me your final prediction on Glover and Jan. How do they win and what round?
I think Jan by decision.
Jan by decision, and I don't think we ever said the previous one. Who do you have between Corey and Peter?
I have Peter. Jan. I'm gonna say TKO. I'm gonna say 3rd round.
I'm gonna go Corey with a submission in the 3rd round.
Okay.
Yeah, that's how I'm seeing it.
I like those picks.
Yeah. Put your bets in. All right. Yeah, that's our predictions for UFC 267. It'll be an exciting weekend full of fights, and then right back at it the next weekend with another main event. I think we got 3 title fights that night. So, yeah, UFC 268, which we'll give our predictions for that. I think we're going to have very different opinions on it.